Backed by popular demand, Michael Gascon, the Horse Guru, and I'm bringing to you the Gaited series. To help demonstrate that is this young boy here. This is One Shot. One Shot is a Spotted Saddle Horse stud colt that has less than 30 days under saddle, and we're just getting into the point where we're starting to pick on gait. I don't plan on this being well gaited. I don't plan on him doing a great job because the fact of the matter is he just doesn't have a lot of experience with it. He's been through our Respect series, he does obstacles, he goes on trails, he plays soccer. Now and just now that he's broke enough to go somewhere, are we gonna start asking him for gait? And that's number one. So many people don't know why their horse doesn't gait, and it's not broke enough to get from point A to point B. It's the equivalent of, hey, my horse doesn't have a flying lead change, but you can't canter around the arena consistently. So get them broke, and then once they're broke, they're confident, they're willing to go wherever you want them, then we can start worrying about gait. If they gait in the meantime, great, and if not, it's no big deal. I've never met a gaited horse that you could show me the papers, their father was gaited, and they were sound, that we couldn't get gaiting. Maybe we can't get them gaiting at a competitive level, but 1, 2, 3, 4 we can get because it's just a matter of their mechanics and getting them balanced, getting them easy. On him today, I have a snaffle with shanks, get him on a curve bit already, and we're gonna start trying to drive him into the bridle. So when we do that, we're gonna take him around here, and usually all of our Respect series and all of our work is head down, nice and relaxed. But I'm already gonna start asking him to pick up his head like so. I'm going to give him a frame. So when I say a frame, I wanna be able to have a hold of his face, and I want that my hands are separated the same width that the shanks are, width that the bit is. So now I'm making a rectangle from both of my hands to both shanks. I'm gonna look up, sit up, and start trying to get him consistent. What I would like to see is that his head is up and his butt's under him. So he's worked so much on being relaxed and being easy that he doesn't really wanna give us a lot of energy. So I want to be able to drive him forward here. So you'll hear me kissing to him. You'll hear me bumping with my leg. Come on. Hold. And you might say, well, Michael, if it takes energy to gait, why do you make them so quiet? The holy grail of horse training is if you can get a horse to walk quietly with anything going on, and stand still with anything going on, that horse is gonna live a good quality of life. So I wanna get them broken quiet first and then come back and start adding energy. So if he doesn't wanna move off of my leg and give me some energy, and what I mean by that is he kept dying down, I'm gonna pick up my magic stick, a little dressage crop here, so that when I squeeze my legs, I click to him. If he doesn't give me some try, then I'll touch him on his keister. That's just gonna bunch him up, bring his butt underneath him. For gait, gaited horses are no different than trotty horses. The only difference is their back feet land first. Think about pace on one end of the spectrum and trot on the other end of the spectrum, and gait is balanced in the middle. When a horse is pacey, and he does it sometimes, tense, nervous, looking for things, and since his head's up and he's rigid and tight, 2 feet are landing at the same time. So it looks like a choo-choo train. Whenever a horse is trotting, they're like a quarter horse, and usually he does that as well. When he gets lazy and lethargic, his head goes too far down. It adds too much weight to the forehand, to the front end, to the front feet. And what happens is the opposite front and back leg land at the same time diagonally. What we want to have happen is his back feet land first and then his front feet, and that'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when they're doing that, there's always 3 points of contact with the ground, and that's what makes it so smooth. That's what makes it so easy, and that's what we're looking for. That's what his owner paid for him for, is to have a nice smooth horse. So I'm gonna put a crop on him here, gather up the reins. That lets him know I want his head up. If you think about this with your hot gaited horses, if when the reins are down, that means motor off. Whether you're walking, trotting, or cantering, whether you're standing still, going obstacles, hanging out on the trail, if you want a gaited horse that walks like a quarter horse, you gotta get them to shape up like a quarter horse. So this is a spastic little 3-year-old stud colt, and this is his trail walk. But we have worked on this and worked on this and worked on this whole month. We've been working on that, and just now are we starting to look to get gait out of him. So now when I want the motor on, I'll let him know by picking the reins up. sit back, look up. And what I'm looking for here is a little consistency. Instead of him surging and dying down, surging and dying down, I want him to try to stay in between my hands and my legs. So not run through my bridle. And if he gets out of gait, if he trots or paces a little bit, that's okay, because I need some consistency before I can start fixing it. So I'm just looking for some speed control here. And he's going in and out of gait, and that's okay. That's the part of it. Until he can consistently go around here at one speed, he's not going to be able to consistently gait at one speed. So whenever he dies, I click to him, I put my legs on him. If he doesn't try, I touch him in the keister with my crop. And very quick, there we go, that's better. Now he's softening in my bridle, but keeping the energy. And ho. So look, for the cropping and kissing, all those things, since he was broke first, since he was trained as a trail horse and an obstacle horse first, I'm able to add all that energy to get him to gait and get him working. The moment I take my legs off of him, he just melts, he's just quiet. And that's the beautiful part of doing horsemanship before you do gait work. He's gonna allow me to pick on him, he's gonna allow me to pressure him a little bit to work, and he's not gonna be turned on all the time. So if you have a gaited horse at home, this is what you should be looking for too. Talk about the two ends of the spectrum real quick. If you have a pacey horse, usually they're tense and tight and they're very rigid and stiff. Those horses, we wanna drop their head, we want them to get softer and easier, and then we want to start moving their shoulders around, because pace is a straight line movement. So as we get them to bend and move their shoulders, they're going to get easier, they're going to get quieter, and they're going to start moving independently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other hand, you see this guy, he's kind of lazy, kind of lethargic, not in his own right, just because we've been calming him down for the past few weeks. So I want to stop him a time or two with my hands high to pick his head up. And then once his head's up, I want to drive his rear end underneath him. So right now he's kind of wanting to drop his head and trot, plop, 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 plop. I want to stop him a time or two with his head up and drive his butt under him. And now he's going to move off, pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck. He's a spotted saddle horse, so his rhythm's kind of like a flat tire. Pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck up, pluck. Your Icelandics, your Passos, they all have a different rhythm, but it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back feet are landing first. Back feet are your driver. And the 3 points of contact is what makes your gaited horse your best trail horse, your best long distance horse, because you're just sitting on your butt. Look at all this work that we're doing, and I'm just sitting here. Let's go, let's go. I don't have to post. I don't have to bounce. I don't have to worry about my balance. I just have to drive them forward. Same thing here. Pick up the reins. I'm going to give him a stop with his hands high. The way that I do that is I extend my hands on the reins and then I sit back. Oh, that way, no matter what he does with his face, he doesn't get a release until he gives to it. Oh, all that, let him figure it out and find it. There we go. Now he's respecting that bridle. So I look to gas him up. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My father used to tell me when I was a young boy, if the horse can gait for 10 seconds, they can gait for 10 hours. You just have to make them comfortable there. So look how quiet my hands are. Look how I leave my hands in one place. Basically, I'm drawing a line in the sand, and as long as he stays behind that line, he's free. Whenever he tries to slow down or lull out in his energy, I squeeze my legs, I put my heels on him, like that right there. That brings his butt under him. Whenever he tries to speed up, I just tighten my hands. Whenever he stays off my hands, I release very quickly. Oh, nice stop right there. Let's start him up one more time. Oh. Notice whenever I am starting him that he's starting with his back end. I'm not too worried about him throwing his head or doing anything like that because I'm just leaving my hands at home and letting him figure it out. He's not used to being stopped and doing all these things with energy. Everything's been so quiet and calm with him that it's a little bit of a shock. But that rawness is something that I wanted to capture on film for you guys. So if you're seeing this, you don't think you're doing something wrong. My job is just to keep my hands at home. So right there, I kiss to him hard like that, and he just moves off gaiting. Huge, huge difference from the beginning of this ride. And ho. There we go. 2 stops, he threw his head all over the place. I'll leave my hands at home. He stops and gives his head. That's just what we're looking for. Just like that. Since he started up good gaiting and he stopped good, give him the reins, let him take a breather. That's exactly what we want, is the horse that's able to turn on and turn off with the push of a button. If you just turn the key, let's get gait. However long we want to gait, if we want to go 2 minutes or 2 miles, let's gait. The second we want to walk flat, we drop the reins, let the motor be off, squeeze just enough for him to walk. And he knows by the way I'm carrying my body and the way that I'm relaxing on him that this is what I want. If you train your gaited horses in this manner, you are going to have the best of both worlds. If you go through the Respect series, if you get your horse as a broke saddle horse first and then teach him how to gait second, you're going to have, just like this guy is starting to become, the best of both worlds. The horse that will take you anywhere is calm, quiet, easy, but also has that energy to gait, has that energy and willingness to go, which is exactly what we're looking for. One more time, we'll set it up. I'll come around here where you can see it. I'm going to gather up those reins. Don't let them start without me. Hope. Nice. You see, stop on a dime like that. Look up, sit up. And hope. Nice, nice. Really good job, buddy. So that's, in a nutshell, what we look for to get a horse to gait. We look to get their head up and drive their rear end under them. If you start by doing that, if on day one we would have ridden that horse like that, looking for gait from day one, he would be a completely different animal. He would be so hot, he would be so excited about everything, and he wouldn't be able to relax. The fact that we spent 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks just relaxing, letting him walk on a loose rein, letting him go through obstacles, go on trail rides, just walking, moving. If he trotted, he trotted. If he paced, he paced. We didn't care what he was doing. We only cared that he went where we wanted and that he only went when we asked him to. Now we're able to start asking him to gait, and he's going to be an awesome horse. If you do this at home with your horse, you're going to have the exact same results. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.